All right, what is up, you guys? It is Jake here bringing you another Madden video. This time it is going to be week 3 in our franchise with Jake Luke as your head coach. Been off to a really good, really fun start with this. Got the Ravens currently at 2-0 after a nail-biting week 1 victory over the Jets, in which Lamar kind of outgunned Zach Wilson, and then week 2, a much easier victory. That was the home opener last week over the Dolphins, in which Teddy Bridgewater got the start for an ailing Tua Tagovailoa, and got off to a good start. Like I said, 2-0. So we're coming into week 3 here. Going to be playing the Patriots as we have our first mock draft available, which has us taking guard Garth Hutchins out of Florida State. Love to have a Garth in the organization, so maybe I'll be looking at him when draft time does roll around here. But as you can see, jumping into it a little bit, they have added a few things the last couple of years and are expanding this year upon the scouting system. So you can see me setting the focus scouting for some of the regions here with the scouts themselves. This was something that was in the game last year, but it does feel a little more fleshed out. So that's a nice little feather in their cap for sure. As you see me setting some of these focuses as I go defensive tackle for the Midwest there, that feels like a good fit. Looking at the Northeast, this is going to be scout Jim Richardson, who's our one-star guy. So not exactly the cream of the crop. He's going to be taking a look at defensive end in the Northeast and then going down to the Southeast. Always a hotbed there. Actually looks like Kyle Fuller got himself defensive player of the week last week with 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery, and 4 tackles. So after kind of a rough summer, it looks like Kyle Fuller shaking off the rust, stepping into that number 3 cornerback position behind Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, and having himself a massive week 2. And this is also a time of year where we can start to negotiate with people. Negotiating is a lot different in this game than in the last couple of years. I think it's more in depth, and I think it's better. But I don't think we're actually going to be doing it this week. I'm just going to kind of take a look at some of what our options are. And none of these guys are really ready to negotiate. It said that Lamar Jackson was, but I guess just in keeping with realism, he said that before the year started, he was not going to negotiate if something didn't get done before week 1. So we're not going to be doing that. Not going to be having a dialogue with him during the regular season, so he can just kind of focus on football, I guess. But yeah, that is sort of the housekeeping items before we get into the game here. As you see me now getting into the game proper with some game planning. It wanted me to defend deep pass for Mac Jones. I decided to defend short pass because that's kind of what he's more known for, and then I did blitz counter for the offense versus their defense, which is a little bit more of a short passing, quick passing focus. So we'll see how both of those things work out. I mean, they suggested deep pass. I found it to be a little bit out of character for Mac Jones, so I went another way. We'll see how where that takes us in the game here as I'm doing some upgrades for some of these players. So Odafe Owe, who's off to a good start. I believe he had 2 sacks in the last game. Getting a nice little upgrade there to a 78 overall with that star development trait. So nice to see him off to a hot start. Then we got one for Marcus Williams here too, who's a pretty tenured player. He's an 86 overall. Some people might even think that's underrated for him, but yeah, he's going to get himself up to an 87 there as a hybrid. Nice little scheme fit in our defense, so he's off to a good start as well as we hop into the week 3 game here at Gillette Stadium versus the Patriots, and definitely not Bill Belichick, who is not in Madden. I think he's like not a part of the Coaches Association, and he doesn't want anything to do with it, which is very Bill Belichick. So they always like kind of have a little stand-in sort of fictional coach for him, which is kind of funny. I think he was actually in it recently, and now he's like not in it again, which is interesting. Maybe I'm making that up, but who knows? As we get things sort of kicked off here in Foxboro, Massachusetts, Ravens coming out of the tunnel after the little flyover they did there, very cool. And taking a look at these Patriots, who had a rough summer camp a little bit there. Mac Jones running out of the tunnel. He is not exactly drawing rave reviews in training camp in real life. And we'll see how things kind of go for him in this one against the Ravens defense that after a week 1 sort of, I wouldn't call it a debacle, but they definitely let up some yards. They really, kind of tightened things up in week 2, and they had a good game against Bridgewater, who I think is probably kind of a similar player to Mac Jones. I think I don't want to like disrespect Mac or anything, but it does feel like a similar stylistically type deal where, little mobile, not like super mobile, definitely predicated more on timing with passing, tempo, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what we're going to have against Mac Jones this week, is defending that short pass, not really focusing on the deep pass as Kyle Hamilton and All the special teamers line up to kick this one away, and we are underway here. And so Mac is going to take the field, talking to definitely not Belichick. And we'll see what he's got here on this first series. So Ravens going to come out versus, he starts the year 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 344 through the air so far through the first 2 games. So pretty pedestrian numbers, to be honest. They're going to want for more out of their second-year QB, who was your Tom Brady replacement, which are big shoes to step into. But here we go. Out of the I formation, he's going to hand that one off to, I believe that's Damian Harris. Going to go nowhere. So we've got a 2nd and 10 coming up quickly here as Malik Harrison got in on that one. So out of the gun, Mac's going to take the snap. He's going to throw that one kind of nowhere, maybe a little bit dangerous with Hamilton kind of lurking in the area. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 10, which they will go to out of the single back with, the full complement lined up off the left there. He's just going to chuck this one up off his back foot, and that's Nelson Aguilar, who just goes up, climbs the ladder next to Tony Jefferson, who was just kind of lost there. And a really interesting kind of weird play to start this one off. 3rd down and 10. Mac Jones off the back foot, just kind of an awkward delivery. And yeah, I mean, I guess it did what it needed to do because Aguilar saw the ball coming out of the air. Jefferson never really got his head around, never saw it coming, and he doesn't even really make the tackle there. So Ravens quickly down 7-0 after they probably thought they were off to a good start there defensively, as Duvernay is going to take this one out of the end zone. Not going to get the blocking he needs to get that one up to touchback distance, but Ravens will start from the 23. So fine field positioning for the most part, as Lamar Jackson going to come out for his first series, flanked there by Rashad Bateman and Tyree Phillips. And he's off to a hot start himself, 384 yards to the air, 4 touchdowns and a pick. They don't show his rushing stats, which are pretty substantial so far. So, yeah, a nice start for Jackson. Let's see if he can keep that going today. Lamar coming out of the pistol. He is going to run this one to the left. Speaking of his rushing stats, he's going to gain about 15 or so on that one, 17 actually. And a nice start for the Ravens, who are going to get a fresh set of downs after their very first play, which they are going to come out of the gun for. Lamar looking. He's going to get sacked by Josh Uche. So that is going to bring up a 2nd down and 16. Not exactly what you want there. He's going to be sacked again. This time it is Christian Barmore bringing up a 3rd down and 21. So Ravens going backwards quickly on offense and not off to a hot start on either side of the ball. And it's going to get worse as Jackson just throws this one right to the linebacker there. I believe that is, let's see if we get his name coming up. I believe, yeah, that's Jawan Bentley. So Ravens off to a bad start on defense, maybe a worse start on offense, as Jackson kind of gets hit as he threw there, but he definitely tried to force that one into Mark Andrews to pick up a long 3rd down. Doesn't work out, and they are quickly behind the 8 ball here as Patriots are going to take over in Ravens territory. Jones is going to hawk this one up. Somehow Aguilar comes down with it, and he is going to fall backwards into the end zone. So Jones, I don't know what that was. He just kind of threw another one up there, and the Ravens just got caught sleeping at the wheel on the back end of the defense. And let's take a look at who that was. It was Jefferson again, who saw it coming. He's kind of out of position, and then Marcus Peters getting picked on a little bit. He allowed way too much inside leverage, and that is going to put the Ravens behind big time in this one. 14-0 on the road after a Jackson interception. Not where you want to be, that's for sure, as Duvernay gets that one out past the 20, and we'll see what happens from here. Screen's starting to shake a little bit. Jackson's going to try to do something off the option. Keeper there doesn't go very far. Coming out of the 5-wide set on this one, he's going to try to force another one in there to Andrews, and that one gets picked off too by Phillips. And that is going to be 2 pass attempts, 2 picks for Jackson to start this game off. Really brutal start here on the road. After what had been a good start to this season, he just makes 2 careless mistakes. And yeah, that's going to put the Ravens behind the 8 ball significantly, as the Pats are already up 14-0. They're taking over in Ravens territory yet again, as Harris just bounces off of a tackle, bounces off another tackle from Jefferson, who was off to a rough start in this one and just kind of bound into the end zone as Odafe Owe picks up an injury on the same play. This is the Murphy's Law start for the Ravens, that's for sure. Duvernay not going to get this one up to the 20. That is going to be about the 17-yard line. So, like I said, everything that can go wrong is going wrong. 0 for 2, 2 picks. Couple nice runs, I guess, but not where Lamar wanted it to be to start this one off, as he's going to throw this one over the middle to Bateman, who makes a nice play, but That one is probably going to be coming back. Yep, that is going to be a hold on the offense. So Ravens going to be starting off 1st and 20 after Morgan Moses holds, or first and 19, I should say, after Morgan Moses has a hold on the right side there. Jackson going to throw this one up to Andrews, who actually does make the catch. So a nice job by Mark to get them sort of back into this one, pick themselves off the mat as they'll go to 2nd and 9. They're following a Dobbins run. But like I said, just the worst start you could ask for sure. Coming out of the pistol, he's going to run this one, cut it back up inside, and a nice nifty little move there by Lamar as Kevin Zeitler is now hurt. So that's tough. A tough start as Dobbins is going to take this one. He'll gain a first down himself. And the Ravens are starting to roll a little bit here as Dobbins goes again. He's going to gain a few there. Just a nice little chunker, and he's helping them get themselves on track as well. And he's going to go again, this time down to the 33-yard line. Another fresh set of downs, and they're just kind of feeding the beast at this point. And he's finally going to be kind of stopped up there for a 2nd and 8, as Zeitler is going to stay in the game, it looks like. Lamar with a little play-action fake. He's going to run to the right. He thought he had nothing there, but he completes that one to Rashad Bateman, who gets them down to the 9-yard line. So quickly within striking distance, and a nice response to what was a brutal start for them, as he's going to take this one up the middle and get down to the 4-yard line there. They're knocking on the door, changing some things around. He's going to bring Andrews in motion and a little quarterback draw, and he's going to score easily. So Ravens back into the mix on this one for sure after a brutal start. That'll be 21-7 as Morgan Moses picks Lamar up and does a little celebration there. So don't celebrate too hard. You got a lot of work left to do here, but nice job. And a really nice block there by Linderbaum to actually spring that one. So good to see from the rookie center. Patriots out of the single back, complete that one going to the left, part of this little dink and dunk offense that they've been running since God knows when. It's continued with Mac for the most part, and I think it might even be a better fit for him than Brady, who actually had a stronger arm than you would have realized. Times as Peters is going to get shaken off there. I'm not sure who that is, 85. It's Hunter Henry, the tight end. So that is going to bring us to the end of the quarter as the Patriots have another explosive play through the air. This defense is definitely on their heels. I don't know what's going on, but they got to start making something happen quickly, or this is going to get away from them. As Jones, another little kind of back healer, as Harris is just going to shake Tony Jefferson off, who is having the game from hell coming out of the I formation. They're going to give it to him again. He's going to fall forward a little bit, bringing up a 3rd down and 7. Kyle Hamilton kind of lurking there, and he is all over this one, intercepts it. Mac Jones just really telegraphed that one. It was a Jackson-esque interception if we're comparing to the picks Lamar threw earlier. And Kyle Hamilton, the rookie, coming up with his first interception in a huge spot for the Ravens, who were down by 14. Patriots were knocking on the door for another touchdown, and he just, I don't know how Jones didn't see him there, but he just uses that 6'4" frame, that big wingspan, and jump man goes up and grabs it. So great job, Kyle Hamilton, as Ravens go back to Dobbins to get this one started. Quickly to a 2nd and 8. What are they going to do here? Lamar dancing around, doesn't have anything to do with it, and he's going to be sacked by Matt Judon, who you know is going to be happy to pick up a sack against his old team, his old QB, and try to have a good one here to prove the Ravens wrong for letting him go, as Jackson on 3rd and 19 fires a dart in there to Mark Andrews. Really nice job. And they set up a wide receiver screen here to Demarcus Robinson, who gets him to a 2nd and 5. Ravens responding nicely as they go to the QB draw there again. That goes nowhere. 3rd down and 5. Jackson making some changes. He hands this one off to J.K. Dobbins. Is that going to be a 1st down? They say it is, as Matt Judon picks up an injury there. 1st and 10. Lamar cuts this one back up inside off the read option fake. 2nd and 9. He's starting to heat up a little bit. Great cut block by Dobbins there. Stops one of the blitzers in his path, but Ronnie Perkins gets in there on the other side. Takes him down. We got another 3rd down and 18. Just going to load up and throw that one over the linebacker to Andrews, who is just having himself a really nice game. I think pull back the curtain a little bit. I think when I do get myself into a tough spot, just kind of throwing to Andrews and using these precision passing controls that they've added, you can really kind of fit balls in between the linebacker and the safety a lot of the time. So I've decided that to get ourselves back into this one, we got to start feeding our best receiving option, which is Mark Andrews. by a country mile, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 12 as the Ravens are well in Tucker's field goal range, but Jackson going to load up and throw this one to Duvernay as he gets hit, and Duvernay scores on the play. So a really nice response here by the Ravens to get that interception, drive down. They're facing a 3rd and 12, and they turn it into a long touchdown to Duvernay as Jackson gets clobbered on that one to an extent, but gets it off to Duvernay, who did a really nice job to separate away from the defense and scores a touchdown. So 21-14, Patriots going to take back over. Two straight incompletions there for Jones. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Let's see what this defense can do. Jones just with another little kind of off the back foot, Kobe Bryant, like Superman throw. That one gets sniffed out by Marlon Humphrey. Nice job to stay with the play there. That'll bring up a 4th and 10, and Patriots are punting this one away to Mr. Devin Duvernay, the all-pro returner. Going to take it to the right a little bit there, up to about the 29, and the Ravens are going to start within the 2-minute warning. 3 timeouts to work with. Mark Andrews has been an absolute beast this season. If you haven't picked up on it, I like throwing to the tight end in this game. And that makes me kind of a perfect fit to play with the Ravens. So I hope you guys are enjoying that so far. As Lamar starts this series off going left to Dobbins, they're going to have to hurry. They want to hang on to these timeouts. Throwing left this time to Bateman. That one gets broken up. Probably should have put some air under that. 3rd down and 6. And who's wide open? Mark Andrews. He just a little quick pop passes. Get him in open space and see what he can do. He's got a clean pocket. He's going to throw to Andrews again, just kind of fitting that ball in there. Like I said, that'll take him down to the 10-yard line of New England. And plenty of time to work with. 3 timeouts to go. Little draw play to Dobbins isn't going to go anywhere. Maybe kill some clock. Try to equalize this thing before heading into the locker room. As we take our first time out there to kind of figure things out, Dobbins is going to get forward. He almost scored there. Didn't quite have the full head of steam. And that will put us at the 1-yard line with 9 seconds to play. Jackson is just going to hand it off to Dobbins, and he will just absolutely skip into the end zone. And that will tie the game right before halftime. Run game has not had the big kind of plays that you have been maybe accustomed to seeing at times today, but they have cleared space when we've needed it. They've cleared them for first downs on 3rd down. They cleared them for a couple touchdowns there with Lamar's draw and then the J.K. Dobbins draw. So, yeah, Ravens kind of getting outplayed offensively to an extent. I think it's just those really big passing yards, or I guess they have the same amount of passing yards, but I think it's those big passing plays through the air by the Patriots that have separated things. I mean, to be honest, I think that's kind of fluky. So we'll see if they're able to keep things going in the second half offensively, as you've got the Bengals leading the Jets, but not by much there, 21-17. So hopefully Zach Wilson can come through over Joe Burrow in the way that he wasn't over Lamar Jackson in week 1. Bears 24-10 over the Texans. Texans off to a 2-0 start there. So maybe a little sneaky AFC kind of shadow pick there, as Davis Mills is off to a nice start to the season, but maybe not in that game. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Looks like Browns get the 32-28 final victory over the Steelers. Looks like everybody's favorite, Deshaun Watson, is actually getting to play to start this season. I guess Madden doesn't want to put suspensions in the game, so I get it from that standpoint, but definitely a weird storyline to track. Maybe I could have done something about that as the league commissioner. I guess I am, but whatever. They're off to a 3-2 start by the looks of it, as we are getting ready to go for the second half here. I think we're going to have to take a look at some of the adjustments that we want to make. So let's take a look at the next gen stats and then go from there. We are going to go with we're going to go with run inside, I think. Yeah, let's go with run inside. See if we can get Dobbins going a little bit. I think that's going to be important. And we actually are going to switch to defend the deep pass. So you remember how it said defend deep pass. Emphasis to start the game. I went against the grain there, and I went with throw it short. And then, of course, we get Mac Jones just throwing up these lollipop, balls to, Nelson Aguilar, who's just stunting all over the secondary. I think if we switch to defend the deep pass, make Mac Jones just kind of throw underneath and dink and dunk his way around, I think we can have the horses in the back and make some big plays on offense and pull away from them. So starting off on the ground with Dobbins, that run inside, off to a good start. Bringing up a 2nd and 1. He's going to throw on this one. A little bit underneath there to Bateman, who's had a nice day himself so far. That'll pick up a 1st down. Trying to fight for the yardage there. Doesn't really get it, but that's okay. They're going to be all over Dobbins there. Lamar probably should have cut that one to the outside, but You got a 2nd and 6 out of it, so no harm, no foul. Little play action fake. Andrews wide open again to the right. And Jackson just having fun throwing to his favorite target today. Those two have been on fire to start the year, and no exception today as Matt Judon and those red sleeves come off the right side of the offensive line there. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 18 after the former Raven gets another sack, throwing left to Dobbins on that 2nd and 18, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11. Jackson sacked by Judon. You know he's loving this. 3 sacks, 4 tackles on the day so far. He is coming for that AFC Defensive Player of the Week award. He wants to stick it to this team, and I don't blame him, but that's going to bring out Justin Tucker for what is going to amount to a 60-yard field goal. Let's see if the GOAT has it today. And I left the meter up there to show you that I absolutely just sliced that one, guys. I probably got a little too excited, and he is going to miss a 60-yarder there. The rare miss, and even from that distance, I think you might expect him to at least give it a better shot than that, but I definitely screwed that one up. So 21-21 here as the 3rd quarter is winding down into the 4-minute territory. Jones just completes another one going left there to Kendrick Bourne. He has had a decent day so far, 2 touchdowns and the 1 pick. The pick was really bad. He got, like I said, I think he got a little lucky on the 2 touchdowns, but I'm not going to complain. As he comes out of the single back here in the red zone, gives it to Damian Harris. Gain of a yard there, or not even, as they're going to come out of the eye. They'll give it to him again. Ravens are all over that one. I believe that was Pierce in on that play. And Mack is going to be sacked by Patrick Queen. It was a forced fumble as well, but Jones falls back on it as Matabike was diving for it. That'll bring up a field goal attempt on 4th and 21 from the 25. So that'll be about a 42-yarder, and he bangs it through with ease. So Patriots up 24-21 as the 3rd quarter is winding down. Let's see how the Ravens respond. Duvernay probably going to get a decent look at this one. Blocking just wasn't totally there. That'll bring it out to about the 22. Ravens going with the trips to the right from the gun. They're going to start off with a little inside zone to Dobbins. Going to go to it again, and he'll pick up a 1st down. So that inside run game definitely is getting going a little bit. That's nice to see. We really need to have that threat of the rush if we're going to be effective on offense, I think. And Dobbins is always going to be a key to that. So nice to see him having a nice game up to this point, and they fake him out. Now Jackson kind of slipping a tackle there. As they're starting to kind of key in on Dobbins, I think keeping some of those read option fakes with Jackson's going to be big as he throws to the left this time. Rashad Bateman with kind of the rare deep passing play on the outside. I don't really go for those a ton just because I feel like that's definitely a risky throw, especially with the sliders that I play on. But yeah, as we enter the 4th quarter here, Ravens threatening in Patriot territory. As you can see there, the stats have kind of evened out, and this has turned into a pretty good game. So be sure to stick around for the end. And he definitely gets him on this one. Jackson fakes it, running to the outside. McCourty finally chases him down, but Ravens really threatening at this point. They're going to give it to Edwards on a little bit of rare action as he's still recovering from that injury. He gets forward. Dobbins gets forward on 2nd down, and that'll bring up a 3rd and goal. Jackson takes a snap. He's just going to fire this one to Andrews, who is all over it. And Mark Andrews continues his big day, his big season with the touchdown there. And that will put the Ravens up by 4 points with 6 minutes to play here. So this is going to be a exciting ending for sure. After a brutal start to this game on offense and defense, Ravens have really rallied, and they've taken the lead late in the game. Let's see what Mac Jones has got. Gives it to Damian Harris, who's got a full head of steam. He is running free, but Tony Jefferson comes up with the forced fumble. Justin Matabike jumps on this one, and that is a huge play from a defense that really needed it in that moment, and a huge redemption arc for Tony Jefferson, who had been getting victimized in multiple ways throughout this game, but this time he comes downhill against Harris one-on-one. He does not get shaken. In fact, he shakes Harris himself and forces the ball out there. Matabike is all over it, and that is the massive play that this defense needed to potentially close this one out. Let's see if the offense can hold up their end of the bargain doing so. Little pop pass to Duvernay. He's going to cut that one up inside. Gain a couple yards there. 2nd down and 7 with the clock running in this game. Jackson going to hand that off to Dobbins. Gain a couple, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. and hand it off to Dobbins again, and that will put us in a 4th down here. So they could go for the field goal for sure, make it 31-24, but I decided no, let's stick with the DNA of this football team. Let's call our best player's number. Mark Andrews in motion and another QB draw following Linderbaum up the middle there. He just barely gets it, but he does indeed, so that'll give the Ravens a fresh set of downs, and the clock will continue to run in this one. Let's see if they just take this one all the way down. Looks like they are going to, and we'll take a little timeout. So collect themselves, get a breather, see what they want to do over the remainder of the time that they have on this one. You can play conservative for the field goal, or you could go for the touchdown as Jackson is running almost to the sideline, and he just gets that one off to Rashad Bateman, who was in the right place at the right time. He's going to take that ball down to the 3-yard line, and the Ravens are really putting the pressure on this New England defense now, who are not holding up well. Just an awesome kind of Joe Flacco-esque run to the sideline and throw one up to your best wide receiver move there. Great job by Bateman. Ravens going out of the eye to score what might be the dagger with Gus Edwards. Just coming in the game late, using that big frame and those long legs that he has to jump into the end zone with glee, I might add. And my my avatar getting really pumped up there, as that is going to put up the Ravens up 35-24, 2:42 left in this one. We'll go with a screen to Damian Harris on the left side. They will, I should say. That'll bring up a 2nd and 1. And yeah, I guess this deep pass defense is helping a lot, because they're having to go to these little short passes, this dink and dunk, like I said. And it's really, I don't think, going to get it done if you need to bring yourself back within 2 scores inside of 2 minutes of the game. They do have all 3 timeouts, so that's something for them to work with there as they go to Aguilar on the right side. Tony Jefferson lays the wood on that one. You can tell he's pissed off after that those early blunders that he made. He really kind of, like I said, redeemed himself in this one and might have saved the game for the Ravens as the Pats are driving, but all momentum in Baltimore's hands. Jones just kind of standing around, and he's going to check this one off to the left side. That's going to move the chains for them again, but clock still very much a factor here. It is inside the 60-second mark. He's going to step up in the pocket, fire this one deep, and that is going to be a touchdown, as Peters got victimized on that one a little bit. So that deep pass defense, man, that really was a key today. I think we probably didn't do it enough, and that is unfortunate as the Patriots get kind of a something out of nothing touchdown there. They're going to get the 2-point conversion with a little check off to Damian Harris. So they will go for the onside. We're all over that with Bowser, who's just going to get down. And yeah, 56 seconds to go. They got 3 timeouts with the ability to stop the clock. So game not quite over here, as the Ravens are going to go out of the eye, handing this one off to Gus, who's going to go to the left, keep churning his way forward. That's going to bring up a very manageable 2nd and 3 here. Pats take their first timeout, as the Ravens are going to think over what to do in this one, and they're not going to overthink it. They're just going to go to Gus out of the eye again. He's going to easily pick the first down up, and that is all but going to do it in this one as we fast forward to the final kneel down after the Pats had used all their timeouts. That is going to be a 35-24 huge victory in Foxboro after what looked like a very bleak start. That is going to get the Ravens to the 3-0 mark. That is very huge. 35-32, I should say. I said 24 earlier. They score that late touchdown to make it a 3-point game, as Mack and Lamar meet in the middle of the field there. I think they both had a pretty decent game in their own ways. They both made their fair share of mistakes, but also big plays from both parties. So, yeah, we did a good job containing their ground game, I think, especially with that forced fumble on Harris that kind of proved to be the key turnover in the game. And then, yeah, they had their fair share of big plays through the air, in this game. But I think that's kind of been a common theme so far throughout this season. We've had our, moments on defense. We've definitely forced some big turnovers, but also some big plays to kind of keep an eye on. But is that really just a function of today's NFL, where big plays are going to sort of run rampant no matter what, just because of the way things are structured? I don't know. Maybe that's just excuse making on my part here as we take a look at some of these defensive stats. But yeah, I don't know. No matter how you slice it, they've definitely had their rough moments, but off to a 3-0 start in this one. Can't complain too much if you're a Ravens fan. Next week, it is going to be the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and the boys coming to town. So that is going to be definitely a high-flying matchup if these 3 are any indication so far. So it's been a fun one. Really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you again next week with that game. Peace out.